So you want to lose the weight, but for some reason, you are struggling to motivate yourself to do what you know you need to do to make the changes in your life. So how do you get yourself from wanting to lose weight to actually taking the actions that you know you need to take to make the changes that you want? 3 years ago, I was 40 pounds heavier than I am today. So even though it may not look like I struggle with my weight now, I did. And there was a point where I wanted to lose the weight, but I just couldn't get myself to take the action and get out of my comfort zone and just do the damn thing. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you the 3 things that I use to finally light my ass on fire and get myself to just do the dang thing so I could finally feel good in my skin and in my life again. So the first thing that I did was I got really honest with myself. I wrote down all of the reasons how staying overweight and unhealthy was negatively impacting my life. Every single way that it impacted me. And something that you need to know about us human beings is that we are much more pain driven than we are pleasure driven. So usually what I found with my own clients is that it is not their desire for a healthy body that has driven them to want to lose weight. It's usually because they saw themselves in a photo and they were like, holy crap, is that really me? Or they saw a number on the scale that they never thought they would see on the scale. Or somebody made a comment about their weight that lit a fire under their ass to say, I refuse to be like this anymore. Very rarely do I have a client that's like, yeah, I want to just feel good and be healthy. Even though they may say that, I'm going to tell you right now, most of change is pain driven. But hey, let's use that to our advantage. Let's use the fact that we are driven by pain as human beings to our advantage. And that's exactly what I did. So let me tell you all the reasons why staying overweight and unhealthy was absolutely screwing with my life. Number 1, I was so insecure. I refused to go on dates and meet men because I felt like I just wasn't attractive and a good man was not going to like me as I was. And even though looking back, I don't believe that's true, that is how I felt in that moment. So the pain of being single and alone and not having the joys of a relationship, writing that down, that was number 1 on my list. Number 2, I film for YouTube, for my job, for social media. And I was not showing up on camera because I was so insecure about how I looked. And I was so ashamed that I did not appear as a fitness coach I wanted to look like. And I was so ashamed that I got myself to a place where I was so unhealthy that I couldn't even show up for my clients and for my job, which is my absolute passion. So that went down on my list as well. Number 3, all of my pants were so tight on me because I gained the majority of my fat around my love handles on my backside. So all of my pants just fit really terribly. And I hated that feeling. And ultimately, I told myself, if I do not change now, I'm never going to change. If I don't make the change today, I'm literally never going to change, because what is going to be different about tomorrow, next month, next year than today? All I have is today. All I can change is right now. And so repeating that to myself, if I don't change now, I'm literally never going to change. I convinced myself of that. And I just kept going through. I mean, there were so many other reasons that motivated me in terms of the pain aspect, but I don't want to make this video too long. But I really convinced myself that if I did not change today, it was never going to happen. And that thought scared the shit out of me so much. I was like, I have to make the change today. I have to make the change today. If I don't make it today, it's literally never going to happen. And habits are harder to break the more you do them. So the more I keep binge eating and drinking, and the longer I do that, the harder it's going to be to break in the long run. So do I really want to make it harder for my future self the longer I go on with these habits? No, I don't. So a big part of motivating yourself to change is really sitting with the pain of all the negative consequences that are happening right now of you staying in an unhealthy place. Because usually what happens is like we think about it for, a minute here, a minute there. Oh, I'm so frustrated, blah, 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 blah. But life gets busy. And then you focus on work, you focus on your kids, you focus on your friends, your relationship, and you're not thinking about your weight and you're not thinking about all the negative impacts it's having. The longer you let yourself think about it every day, I promise you, that is going to translate into you taking action. But if you kind of just downplay it or you distract yourself, you're never going to think about it long enough to get yourself frustrated enough to take the action. So I noticed that I was using work to distract myself, which in turn was the reason why I wasn't taking action, because I just kept thinking about work rather than, oh my God, I'm in such a terrible place with my health and my body. Like I need to make a change. So when I really sat down to intentionally think about all the ways I was hurting my current and my future self, I really started feeling that fire light under my butt, but I had to keep thinking about it and keep doing that mental process every day until I got to that breaking point of I have to change. I have to frickin' change. So that is the number one thing that I did. Number two is you need to have somebody that you look up to, that you respect, and that you do not want to disappoint. And you need to have them hold you accountable. So this can be a coach, this can be an older sibling, this can be a friend. Now, obviously, if this is your sibling or a friend and you're not paying them to actually hold you accountable, okay, this is not their job to hold you accountable, but what you can do is let them know, hey, these are my plans. Like, this is what I'm gonna do this week. I'm going to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to text me. You don't have to call me. I am just telling you as my form of accountability because I know that if I don't do it, I know that I told you I was going to do it. And because I respect you so much and I look up to you as a person, it's going to cause me so much pain and shame to not do what I said I was going to do. Now, the reason why I say pick somebody that you admire and respect and look up to is because you don't want them to look down on you and to see you as a person who doesn't follow through on their word and who just breaks their promises, right? But if it's somebody that you don't really respect, like a lot of people will use their significant other as their form of accountability, but unfortunately, they are totally okay with their significant other, seeing them fail and being like, whatever, it doesn't matter what he thinks. So if your significant other isn't somebody whose opinion you respect, which that is a conversation for another day, use somebody who you look up to that you would not want to see you not follow through on your word. Because I promise you, accountability is one of the strongest forms of motivating us to take action, especially because my first tip, thinking about all the ways that's negatively impacting you, it is so helpful. But there are going to be times where you are just tired or you just don't want to eat healthy or your old habits are just coming in so strong. And so having that additional form of accountability when you just don't have it in you can be exactly what you need in that moment to drive you to take the action to continue to become the person that you want to be. So I did have a third tip, but I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to keep this last tip short and sweet. It is the opposite of number one. So we need to know what drives us in terms of pain, but we also do need something pleasurable to motivate us to move towards. It's two sides of the equation. We need something to move away from, and then we also need something to go towards. And having a combination of those two, that is the sweet spot. So have a vision of your ideal fitness, confidence, body, dating life, like whatever is going to be impacted by your weight. I want you to have a vision that excites you so much that you can constantly think about so that when you're low in energy, you can pull from that vision to motivate you. Now, here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to be humble. Now, usually when I talk to women, they tell me their humble goals. The goals that they think they can achieve, but they don't want to set too high of goals because they don't want to be disappointed. And here's the thing. You are going to reach whatever goal you set once you set your mind to it. And if you give yourself a goal that isn't really your goal, but you just are scared to set a big goal because you don't know if you can achieve it and you don't have that confidence yet, it is not going to be exciting. Like, let's say you want to lose 50 pounds. Like, that is your ultimate goal, but you're like, oh, but I'm going to say I want to lose 20 because I really don't believe I can lose 50, even though that's ultimately what I want. I want you to really sit in the vision of your ideal self. If that's 50 pounds, freaking go for it. Even if you're like, I don't know if I can achieve it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. The only difference is what you tell yourself. I'm going to tell you right now, you can absolutely achieve what it is that you want. The only thing that's going to stop you is your mind. And having a vision of what you actually want, your big goal, I promise you is going to inspire you into action way more than your humble, low confidence goal. So whatever you want to look like or feel like, or whatever your dream life looks like, if you could mold it, if you could just literally take a wand and make it as you want, that is what I want you to focus on. That is what I want your vision to be. Because I promise you, when you have that big of a vision, it is so exciting and it is so motivating. So motivating. So my encouragement for you is to have a vision of what lights your heart on absolute fire. Now, I said I was going to keep that last tip short. I definitely did not. I did not. But I hope that you found this video helpful. These are the tips that truly changed my life. And I really had to take the time to sit in all of them. And so I hope that, whatever you found helpful in this video, take what you need, take what helps you. And the last thing that I want to leave you with is that you are so capable of whatever you want to achieve. But you first have to see it in your mind, and you have to believe and convince yourself that you are capable of it. If somebody else in this world who is also made of flesh and bones, just like you are, has achieved what you want to achieve, there is absolutely nothing stopping you from achieving that exact same thing, because we are all made up of the same stuff. Again, I hope you found this video so helpful. If you want to see more nutrition, fitness, lifestyle content from me, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Vivian No. That is VIVIANNNNGO. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.